the goal with the Common European Mobility Data Space is not to force people to share data, of course, but actually there's a lot of value in data which is not fully taken advantage of.
What we learned is that it is necessary to have some kind of neutral player in the middle to bring the players together, to provide trust and to guarantee the fair conditions for data sharing.
I don't really think there's much of competing, but there is we need to find a way for different data spaces to work together. And if we can do that, then I think there's a huge potential in having ecosystem of data spaces.
This legislation is putting the frame and also rebalancing the power and making sure there's a level playing field. But then we need to make it work in practice. And that's also where the Common European Mobility Data Space can play a role to make it easier then to discover these different sources of data and also connect that with voluntary data sharing that go beyond the obligation.
From a legal perspective, I think it's very important to have a clear regulatory landscape, to have clear obligations, to understand what the regulation means. I think trust has to do, legally speaking at least, with feeling confident that their data are governed responsibly and in accordance with the law, that they are secure.
Where data is shared, it's being shared in a fair way, and you can actually control access and know what happens with that data once it's shared. So really, this is something that in practical terms will determine also a lot of the trust in the system.
Keeping control is essential for using data. And from my perspective, data spaces and the architecture of decentralized data spaces is a core for keeping sovereignty on data.
No personal data, no data at all of any kind will flow without my consent. So it's always me making the choices, and it's not like giving up control.